Welcome, Texas State Bobcats. My name is Jamian Lebron, and welcome to the very first episode of the CIE Season 2 podcast, the Step Up Podcast. What's going on, everybody? Round of applause, first off. We made it, man. We're here. We are here today filming this podcast. We're getting this stuff out, all right? First thing I want to say is, how are you guys doing, all right? I know that by the time this episode comes out, it will be the third week of college. I know this is when stuff starts ramping up a little bit, all right? You know, homework assignments are given out. We're actually, in tune with our content that we're learning in class and everything. And yeah, stuff is getting together, all right? All right, stuff is getting together. This is when, test terminology starts popping out everywhere, all right? And we really got to start studying. So I hope all is well with you guys. I hope you guys are doing good and y'all are mentally good. Y'all are, getting your work kept up and everything. Y'all aren't procrastinating, all right? I hope we're doing good. For those of you that don't know, my name is Jamian Lebron, okay? And I am the video content and media supervisor here at the CIE. I am also a podcast host. You see what I'm saying? Like, we now a podcast host, all right? As soon as this episode goes out, I am updating my LinkedIn, okay? Because this is a huge deal, and that's going to be the first thing I do. This is amazing, guys. This is amazing. So, before we begin, I do want to say this is the second season, okay? We had a first season, all right? That was the Startup Stories podcast, excuse me. And that was hosted by an old coworker named Aaron Sultani, all right? Aaron, if you're watching this podcast, I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing some great things out there. So the first podcast, all right, that was last semester, all right? We went through the entire semester. We starting stuff up. Like I said, Aaron was the host, all right? So he would get all the guests together, and he would interview them, and he would make the content and everything. I was also a part of last semester's podcast. However, I was the behind the scenes. Okay, so I was the one that set up the camera you're looking at right now. I got the tripods and everything. I was the one that got the sound hooked up to my MacBook. I extracted everything. I was the one that edited all the stuff together. I got it all going. Okay, and I was the one that also posted it on YouTube and Spotify. That was all me. Okay, so yeah, shout out Aaron, man. We did that stuff together. We did it for a semester straight. That was amazing. Something that happened, Aaron graduated. All right, Aaron he's gone. All right, he is now officially a Texas State alumni. Okay, woo, big words out there now. And so because of that, the job of who is hosting has now fallen to me. All right, I am officially hosting this podcast, and I am super excited to do so. Okay, because of that, there are some changes coming. All right, there are some changes happening to this podcast, and this is what I want this video to be about. All right, so I'm taking a kind of laid back approach. All right, we don't have a guest on here today. Okay, I just want to talk to you guys about what exactly is going on this season. Okay, what I want to obtain. All right, what I want to maintain and everything like that. So some things I want to talk about first. All right. Of course, I want to talk about how the season differs from the last one, including the name. The name Step Up Podcast does have a meaning, all right? So I will get to that. I also want to talk about the goals for this podcast, okay? I want to talk about what this podcast represents. I want to talk about how this is going to help you guys, because at the end of the day, this podcast is for us. It's not for me. It's not for, Texas State. It's not for the company. It's for us, the Texas State students. Okay, this for you guys. I'm gonna get into that also, and I just want to give you guys a piece of my mind. All right, what's going on in here? Like I said, this podcast is for you guys. It's for Texas State students in general. So anything going on in my mind, I want it to be very transparent with you guys. Okay, so with all that being said, let's get started. So the goal for this podcast. Okay, so the CIE. They're the ones hosting this podcast, all right? The CIE is the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, okay? It is a Texas State we are a Texas State resource, okay? So we're not a club or an organization that you join. We literally host free student events, all right, for you guys to become better entrepreneurs, okay? You can find out more information on Instagram, TexState_CIE. I'd highly recommend you all follow that. A lot of cool information on there, and there's free events for you to be a better entrepreneur. If you're interested at all in entrepreneurship, seriously follow our Instagram. Okay, I'm advertising. I'm advertising right now, but it's the truth, all right? There's a lot of cool stuff going on with the CIE. Go check them out, okay? The main thing that the CIE is focused on, okay? We want to help students be better entrepreneurs, okay? That's the main focus for the CIE. We want to help students be better entrepreneurs. And that mission leaks into this podcast heavily, okay? I'm not even going to say leaks. It freaking spills, all right? It overflows this podcast, okay? What do I mean by this? What we're going to do on this podcast is we are going to have student entrepreneurs, okay? People that go to Texas State that have already started their business, are gearing up to start their business, or Texas State alumni that have successful businesses, you know? We are going to host them on this podcast, all right? And we are going to focus on their story, okay? So last season, we had some guests come on here and everything, and we had them promote their business, and, you know, we got the ground rolling, okay? This season, I want to focus heavily on their story and their come up, okay? So when I have a guest on here, something that you guys can expect is my main focus is getting the guest to tell his story from where he started to how he is now, how he had an idea for his business, an idea that was just in the back of his mind, how he put it on paper, and how he made it something tangible and real, okay? The season title, if y'all have paid attention, the season title is called From Dorm to Reality. And so that's what I really want this to focus on. How do you get somebody's, you know, dream? How do you get something that's in behind closed doors? You know, how do you get something from a dorm into the real world? All right. How do you do that? This is how. So with all that being said, that's our main focus. Okay. Getting these people that are just like you and me, living under the same campus, you know, doing the same thing, same classes, all that stuff. All right. How do we get that person and hear their story so that we can be inspired to do it as well, all right? It's not impossible, y'all. It's not impossible, and these people are proof of that, okay? So that's something that you guys can expect, all right? And so because of that, I kind of wanted to update the name of the podcast to follow, okay? So Step Up Podcast, all right? First and foremost, like I said, we're talking about how, you know, they went from how they went from where they were to where they are now. The steps that they took to go up in life. Step Up Podcast. I also wanted to, it's kind of a little double entendre, all right? I wanted to tie it into something that we all take, that literally its whole purpose is to get us to go up, okay? All Texas State students have to deal with it. Steps, guys, we take steps, literal stairs, okay, are meant to get from point A to point B, and you're just going up and up every step, okay? That is a Texas State podcast. That is the, oh my gosh, I'm over here freaking, I'm too excited for this. I need to calm down. That is why I renamed it, all right, the Step Up Podcast, okay? That's just how it is, all right? So, yeah, something that you all can expect from me is, first and foremost, like I said, this podcast is for us, okay? It's not for me. It's not for somebody else that's behind the camera. It is for you and me, okay? Texas State students. So because of that, if there is any ideas, anything, like any recommendations, any stuff, feedback is encouraged, okay? I really want to make this the best podcast for all of us, okay? So because of that, if there's anything that you all have, any recommendations, any, you know, sources of help, it's all encouraged, all right? Feel free to drop a comment on YouTube. I'm not sure if you can do it on Spotify. If you can, drop a comment there, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, help us out, all right? I'm down to listen and everything. Another thing is this podcast is, it's for you guys, okay? This is for you guys. Any information that I'm extracting here, you guys can expect me to get these people to tell their stories and to inspire, okay? Those are the main things that we can expect every episode. That is something that I'm going to deliver on every episode, okay? I got some cool guests. I'm just, you know, finalizing some stuff and everything, all right? I got some cool guests planned on here, all right? Another thing that y'all can expect from this episode are updates on the CIE. So either at the beginning or the end, I'm still trying to figure out where I want to put it. I'm going to give updates on CIE events, okay? The Instagram has all of these updates, so please, seriously, guys, for the 11th millionth time, follow the Instagram. But besides that, the podcast, I'm going to give you guys an update, all right? So this podcast is going to release Mondays at 9 a.m., maybe 10 a.m. I'm not, I might feel it around. For now, it's going to be 9 a.m. Mondays. And because of that, it's the start of the week, all right? So I'm going to give you guys an update on all future events happening until next Monday, okay? So it's going to be a gap. I'm going to tell you guys what's going on, and yeah, I hope you guys are able to make it there and everything. It's really cool. CIE hosts free events, guys, free events. There was an event last week, a student workshop. It was how to build a better LinkedIn account, a really good one, okay? Guys, you guys, we need LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like this, all right? If you're trying to find a job, it is like we are, LinkedIn is locked in, all right? So you need to, keep up with Texas State CIE events, right? So you can, keep up with this stuff. Anyway, okay, I'm losing focus. With all that being said, guys, that is everything I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the goals that I have for this podcast and everything going forward, all right? I promise you guys all the stuff that what am I trying to say? I promise you guys the content that I'm going to make is going to be as top-notch as possible, okay? I want this to be inspirational for us. I want this to be motivational for us, okay? Entrepreneurship is a hard thing, all right? It is a hard thing to start a business, but it's not impossible, okay? And I want to take that, and I want these people that show up on this podcast to be proof of that, okay? And I want to hear their stories, and I want to hear their trials and tribulations, because it's all proof that this is not impossible. This is something that we can do, okay? So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys have made it this far, you guys are the coolest on campus, officially. Y'all get that title. And without further ado, man, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm super excited to get started, all right? We will see you guys next Monday at 9 a.m., all right? And have a great, great rest of your day, all right? Keep doing great things, Bobcats. And with all that being said, have a great one. Peace out, man.